My beloved brothers and sisters, you keep thinking something's wrong with you. You say, I'm tired, I'm not motivated anymore. But what if this is not your downfall? What if Allah is gently shutting down the version of you that was only built to survive, so He can raise the version of you that was meant to surrender? When Allah drains the version of you that can't carry destiny, sometimes the most painful part of your life is not when someone leaves you, or when a door closes, or even when the world turns its back on you. No. Sometimes the deepest pain comes from within. It comes when you look in the mirror and you don't recognize the person staring back. You're not yourself anymore. You don't laugh the way you used to. You don't feel motivated like before. Even your dreams feel foreign. And deep down, you begin to ask a question you've never said out loud. What's happening to me? My brother, my sister, what's happening to you is not failure. It's not weakness. And it's not because you're losing your worth. It's because you're outgrowing the version of yourself that was never meant to last forever. There was a time when that version of you was necessary. You built it during your hardest days. You shaped it in silence, through heartbreak, through disappointment. You became strong because you had to be strong. You became the one who kept it together because no one else would. You fought battles no one saw. You cried alone and wiped your own tears. You smiled when you wanted to scream. You kept going even when your soul begged for rest. That version of you was brave. That version of you was powerful. It helped you survive what would have broken most people. But now Allah is saying to you, you don't need to live like that anymore. You see, that version of you, the one who lived in survival mode, the one who built walls around their heart, the one who ran on pressure, performance, and pain, that version was built for a storm that has already passed. And what's ahead of you now requires someone different. So Allah, in His infinite wisdom and mercy, starts to gently break down the shell you once lived in. Not because He's cruel, but because He knows it can't carry the weight of what's coming next. So you start feeling things you can't explain. You feel tired all the time. Not just physically, but spiritually. You no longer enjoy what used to excite you. Your goals start to shift. Your energy fades. You can't force yourself to be who you were anymore. And you panic. You think something's wrong. You wonder if you're becoming lazy, ungrateful, unproductive. But the truth is, you're being transformed, not punished. Transformed. You are being pulled away from who you had to be so that Allah can show you who you're meant to be. The version of you that was built on survival is now being replaced with a version built on submission. A version that doesn't just push through the pain, but one that learns to heal through it. A version that doesn't wear fake strength, but walks with real softness and trust in Allah. And yes, this change is painful. It's confusing. It's slow. You feel like everything is falling apart inside you. You can't describe it. You just know you're not who you used to be, and you're not yet who you're becoming. This in-between space, this silence, this tiredness, this emotional fog is not darkness. It's sacred space. It's where Allah is rebuilding you piece by piece, layer by layer, removing everything that was rooted in fear and replacing it with faith. So when you feel weak, when you feel like you can't pretend to be okay anymore, when even smiling feels heavy, know this, Allah sees you. He sees the effort behind your silence. He sees the weight behind your tired eyes. He sees the old version of you trying to hang on, and the new version of you quietly being born. You are not broken. You are being softened. You are not falling apart. You are being released. You are not losing motivation. You are losing the pressure to perform and becoming real with your soul. And one day, maybe not today, maybe not even next week, but one day, you'll wake up and you'll feel something new. A calm you haven't felt before. A clarity you thought was gone. A strength that doesn't need to shout. And that's when you'll realize what Allah was doing all along. He wasn't destroying you. He was removing the old you that was built to impress people so He could raise the real you that was built to walk with Him. So if you're in that space now where nothing makes sense and you feel like you've lost the fire that once pushed you, don't fear. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are not being left behind by Allah. You are being prepared. Quietly, silently, lovingly. And when you rise again, you'll rise for the sake of Allah, not the world. And in that rise, you will finally understand why He made the old you so tired. Spiritual exhaustion is not laziness, it's a divine shutdown. You wake up, but your heart doesn't. You slept for hours, but you still feel heavy. You try to push yourself to get up, but even small things feel difficult now. The to-do list stares at you, but your soul turns away. You try to pray, you want to feel it, but your chest is tight and the tears don't come. And in that moment, you begin to whisper to yourself, am I becoming lazy? Is something wrong with my iman? Why am I like this? Let me tell you, with love and clarity, this is not laziness. This is not failure. This is not a punishment from Allah. What you're feeling is not weakness of character. It's not a lack of faith. It's something much more divine and much more sacred. You are experiencing what I call a divine shutdown. Because sometimes Allah knows your soul is too wounded to keep running. He knows you've been holding too much for too long. He knows you've been functioning in pain while telling the world, I'm okay. He knows you've kept showing up even though your heart is exhausted. He knows the smile has been forced. He knows the strength has been stretched thin. And so, He steps in, not with thunder, not with punishment, but with a kind, quiet hand that begins to pause your system. He slows your steps. He closes the doors you used to run through. He dims the things that used to excite you. He lets the fire go out so He can rebuild the flame from its root. This shutdown is not your defeat. It's your divine protection. You were running too far in a direction that wasn't good for your heart. You were chasing things that were feeding your ego, but starving your soul. You were surviving on empty fuel, and Allah could see you were about to crash. So He did what only the most loving can do. He gently pressed pause. Because He didn't create you to live in burnout. He didn't place you on earth to serve people at the cost of breaking yourself. He didn't give you this body and soul so you could worship your own productivity and forget your purpose. You see, this exhaustion you feel now is not the end of your story. It's the start of a redirection. It's Allah calling you back, not just to Him, but to yourself. Because somewhere along the way, you forgot how to breathe. You forgot how to rest. You forgot that you are not a machine. You are not just output and progress. You are a soul, a sacred creation. And your Creator wants to heal you. So what does He do? He lets your motivation fade. He allows your old routines to stop working. He makes your usual energy disappear. So you'll finally stop and ask the question He's been waiting for. Ya Allah, what's really happening to me? And that's when He begins the real transformation. Not by forcing you, not by yelling at you, but by sitting your soul down and saying gently, let me carry this for a while. That's why you feel still. That's why your heart is quieter. That's why everything feels slow, even though the world keeps rushing by. It's not laziness. It's divine quiet. You've been fighting for so long, and now Allah is giving you rest. So stop judging yourself so harshly. Stop comparing your pace to the version of you that was moving, but emotionally bleeding inside. This is not a step back. This is a sacred pause. Allah is holding you still because what He's planting next needs soil that is soft, not trampled by the world, not hardened by burnout, but quiet, still, humble, ready to receive. This is your chance to breathe again, to pray slowly, to sleep with peace, to ask without shame, to return without guilt. And yes, it's okay if you don't feel it yet. It's okay if you still feel confused. It's okay if the energy hasn't come back, because it will, bit by bit, step by step, as Allah refuels you from the inside out. But for now, your only job is to be soft with yourself, to say, Ya Allah, I'm tired, but I trust you, because this stillness you are standing in today is not the grave of who you were. It is the womb of who you are becoming. And when the strength returns, and it will return, you won't run the way you used to. You will walk differently, pray differently, love differently, live differently, because you won't be driven by fear or pressure anymore. You will be driven by peace. And that, my dear brothers and sisters, is how Allah replaces your exhaustion with something far better. Not hype, not hustle, but healing. So if all you did today was survive quietly, that was enough, because Allah sees the strength behind your silence, and He writes it in your book of patience. Allah isn't just rewriting your path. He's rewriting your wiring. You keep asking Allah to change your life. You keep begging for something to shift in your work, in your health, in your relationships, in your future. But what you don't realize is this. Before Allah rewrites your life, He rewrites you. He doesn't just change the map. He changes the traveler. Because the new destination He's taking you toward requires a version of you that doesn't exist yet. And so, He begins within, where no one sees, where no one understands, where even you don't know what's going on. He starts rewiring your soul. You no longer enjoy the things you used to chase. You no longer get excited by the same distractions. You no longer have the same appetite for noise. You feel disconnected, not just from the world, but even from